Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of the MPNFL GameFace Netball Show. Tonight I am joined with the two lovely ladies here on my side, so it's great to have a full suite of people here tonight. So Lumar from YCW and Anna Mace from Frankston Bombers. And I guess for full disclosure, just to let you know that I am from Somerville Eagles, so that you know where our biases lie. Not that I'm sure that wasn't hidden from anyone. Anyway, welcome girls.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have you back, Anna.
Yeah,
how's your injury recovery coming along?
2 more weeks in the boot. Oh, sorry, 1 more week in the boot. And
Yes.
then I'm going to attempt to drive. I just want to drive. I'm sick of not being able to drive. That's it. I don't care about rehab. I don't care about netball right now. I just want to be able to get in the car.
It's like being back as a junior, isn't it?
I'm done.
Have your freedom.
I'm done with talking to people. I get in the car. I'm like, don't speak. But that's all right.
Okay, so I'll remember that when I take you home tonight. We'll just sit in silence. We'll turn the radio up.
Yeah, done.
All right, and how's everything going down at YCW, Lou?
Yeah, good. We had a good weekend. Bit of a mixed bag in the netball, but the footballers were lucky to come away with a win. So
Overall going well?
overall going very well.
So last weekend we had probably one of the foggiest starts to the competition so far. Driving down, we had a home game and I actually put the lights on to test whether that was actually going to be better for our games than having them off. Kind of thinking along the headlights as you're driving with fog going, is it going to make it better or is it going to make it worse? But bloody, it was foggy out there. And
foggy.
I hear that there was a few games that were either suspended or not played in the footy. And how did it go out with your
Bombers Red
your
Hill?
games?
Oh, we were in Red
suspended,
Hill.
But the netball court is raised that little bit higher
Yeah.
than the football ground. So
The netball wasn't too bad. Like, it was foggy. But
Yeah.
when you looked out over to the oval, you couldn't see a soul. It was eerie.
It's very lucky, I guess, that we only pass, probably 10, 15 odd metres at any given time, unlike the boys who are kicking, 50 metres.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere and lands on them. So it's not so bad. But it was, I think in our games, because we had the under-17s game, so it was quite heavily fogged through that game and it kind of dispersed throughout the day. But by the time that had happened, the fog almost started rolling back in
It
for the
was
A-grade games. So
it
it
was,
just never left.
yeah, one of the EDS girls was coming. She goes, as soon as you got off the freeway, it was just boom. Like it
Yep.
was,
It hit
wasn't
you
too
like
bad up at EDS until they got down that into Frankston. So we were all right. It wasn't too bad. It was foggy, but nothing, no vision impairment.
That's
or
crazy,
anything
isn't
like
it?
That. Just very chilly.
Yeah. It was a bit the same with me driving into Somerville and, just down that hill there and the fog came through and it's like, oh, it wasn't like this at home. It was definitely interesting. And another thing too that's going to be coming out, whether it be, later today or over the weekend, early next week, is going to be our finals venues. So that's always very interesting when that information is released from the league. So, have you girls got preferences on where finals are played? What are your thoughts on that?
We normally play down the peninsula, so we're hoping for a couple of games
Closer to home.
Yeah. Just makes life a little bit easier. But
Around the Rye, Rosebud, those
we generally
courts?
play Rye Rosebud.
Yep.
Last year we played Rosebud, and then the football played around Chelsea and somewhere else.
Yeah, Chelsea had games last year.
But we played the netball
or last season.
Ryan Rosebud. So it'll be good to hopefully, I know there's a couple of clubs up this way put in there.
Because it does come down to that, doesn't it? I think clubs have got to put their hands up and nominate to say that they're interested in hosting finals. It's not necessarily the league just picking who they want to host.
Clubs can also submit a joint submission this year, which hasn't. I don't think it's been done very much in the past. But
A football and a netball joint.
No. Two football netball clubs together
Okay.
to host one final series.
Oh, that's interesting.
For example, Summy and YC and hosted it. Somerville,
Yep.
but the two clubs share because it is a pretty taxing time on the clubs
volunteers.
and the volunteers. So sharing that load over two clubs
And
rather
reaping
than
the benefits of the financial
and sharing
Kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because considering the
'Cause there are
fact,
some-
so sorry for people who don't know at home, is obviously through finals the gate takings don't go to the clubs, so the only money that's been made by anyone hosting that is what's happening through the bars and through
canteen.
So, you know, I think if we have two clubs that are hosting it, so there's more beer tents, more barbecues and things like that going, then from someone who's turning up,
and there
you're
are
going
some
to
clubs
have
that just don't have the facilities to host finals, so they're not big enough, or
don't have double
they're
courts
too
or whatever it might
open.
be.
Yeah,
Have
so
a warm-up
YCW,
area.
Karingal, off the top of my head, I can think you'd find it really hard to be able to bring
lock
everybody,
that area
lock it
so
down.
they just don't get that opportunity. But now this time they can team up with someone, and
Absolutely.
you know, I think there's a couple of clubs that have put that a submission through, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the chocolates.
That is exciting.
We've been very lucky at Somerville in the past to host finals. From my perspective, I find it challenging because I'm the one who has to set it up and then often participate in the finals as well. So it becomes a really long day, and you know, particularly if you're celebrating at the end and having a few drinks, it is a very long day. But it's, you know, it's nice to have everyone come. You know, it's always a big day, and it's not that far away. We've only got a few rounds to go, and then we'll be starting finals. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to find out who is hosting this year.
That's crazy.
Sorry?
It's about a month away.
It
maybe
is
5
only
weeks.
a month away. Yeah.
So it'll be, I'm interested to see of how we place 1v, like the actual what days you play. Like
Saturday or the Sunday.
Who's playing Sunday, particularly those first 2 weeks of finals. And last year, Div 1, we played the netball on the Saturday and the football on the Sunday, because Div 1, or the grand finals, are generally played at Frankston Park.
Yes.
So we had voted, and I know you guys played on the same day, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, we
correct.
did.
Yep. So I'm very interested to see how that pans out this year, or if we go back to a vote. I'm assuming they'll come out.
So if you have preferences at home and you want to call out, do you want to play your netball finals on the same day as the footy finals? Would you prefer to play them? So have the footy, traditionally Div 1 plays their footy grand final on the Sunday.
Yeah, at Frankston Park. So
at Frankston Park, and ours is always on the Saturday at Frankston Park, so we don't normally play on the Sunday. So it'd be interesting. So do you want to play at the same time? Would you consider playing a Friday night game, a blockbuster game somewhere, maybe at an indoor stadium? There's a lot of things that are being thrown around as suggestions to be able to make it the best viewing, I guess, and the best spectacle as a final as we can make it. So, you know, throw us some suggestions on our page below to see, you know, let us know what you think. Let's move on now to what happened in last week. So let's start off with Division 1.
Div 1. So quickly, before we get stuck into it, just a shout out to Ash Gilly from the YCWD grade side. Came off with a dislocated shoulder in their game. I think it was about the third quarter.
Ouch!
And
how do you dislocate your shoulder in a netball game?
I don't want to hear it.
I'm not sure. I missed it. I just saw all the girls on this. I'm like, you need to be back on the court for start.
Yes.
I'm not sure how it happened. I was not paying attention. I was writing in my book. But so unfortunately, she's out for the rest of the season. So it's a 6 to 12 week injury. The poor thing. So
sending love.
A little bit of a shout out there, and she's playing a ripper season. So he'll be back bigger and better next year.
Life's just hard with a dislocated shoulder. That type of injury.
Brushing your hair,
washing your hair, and
getting ready
all of
for
those
the
things that are
ball.
important.
Oh, true.
She's going to be in have an arm in a sling for the ball. How she's going to put her hair.
As long as she can coordinate that.
With the other hand.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the main thing
too. Hand or non-drinking hand.
No, and then. Some cracking games across the whole of Div 1. So in the under 17s, I just wanted to, I know you might be able to talk a little bit more about this, but Bombers only down by 11 goals in the under 17s to Mount Eliza, who are sitting on not top of the ladder, second on the ladder with losing one game, and Bombers just towards the bottom, I think second last.
Yep.
So they would have been pretty, I think, wrapped with getting close enough, you know, it's 11 goals. It can be turned around in a quarter. It's not
definitely. It's only five, 6 turnovers kind of thing if you're looking at it that way. I think with our Bombers girls, you know, we're really proud of how they've developed over the season, and I think their main thing was that they want to keep developing, keep improving throughout the season. They're a really good bunch of girls. They're really tight knit. Abby's a great leader down there for those girls, so it's really nice to see that all their hard work is starting to pay off, and they can get their own milestones rather than obviously you want the win.
Yeah.
But they've set their goals.
Closing that margin, and
Yep.
those wins will come.
Exactly
Are they
right.
going to stick around for a following year? Are they bottom age or are they top age 17s?
I think we've got a couple of top age, but
Okay.
I think majority might be bottom age, or
Okay.
I'm hoping so. But they're a beautiful bunch, and there's a couple of girls who are definitely ready to take that next step up into seniors. So I'd be really excited to see if they all stick around, whether that be
Absolutely.
17s or moving up to the senior group.
Yep, fantastic.
And then the other two were quite some big games from a couple of ladder leaders there. So in D grade, nothing too out of the ordinary. YC had a cracking first start against ladder undefeated EDS, but they came firing back and were too good to remain undefeated. So only two teams remain undefeated in Div 1 at the moment, and that's the under 17s and then the D grade EDS as well. So everyone else has had a loss for the season. Well,
It's not easy to stay undefeated. It's to hold that concentration. I think for the entire season is hard, and we're the same. We've got a couple that are still sitting there undefeated. It's every week you're turning up and going, "Is this going to be the week?"
I know I'll get a comment and say the B grade girls might comment below and say they're still undefeated because they technically haven't lost, which they are still, but they haven't got the 44 points.
No,
like these two teams have. And then C grade, we actually saw a bit of an upset in C grade with my girls coming away with a 10-goal win against the top of the ladder EDS, dropping their first game for the season. So I gave my girls a bit of a whack last week and said they played. So
they didn't want that twice, 2 weeks in a row.
They actually played their best game for the season. It was just a little bit of a different vibe. We're not sure why or where it came from, but I think last time we played EDS, and I think a lot of clubs do this, is they focus on who they are and
get caught
up in that and outplay themselves in the game. And they really turned this around this week and played our game for themselves right from the start, which was really good. It was a really close game. It was goal for goal in the first quarter, and then we were lucky to get away in that second quarter.
That's exciting.
And hold the lead. So really good for us coming into finals to know that they can do it and see that belief.
And it probably gives everybody else, like you say, they are the benchmark, and definitely I'm sure there's clubs who say, this is what we've got to do to reach, to get that premiership cup. You've just proven that you can do it, and I think that then inspires other clubs to go, well, it's not impossible. Let's,
Yeah, and it brings our ladder a little bit closer. So there's only a game separating, and Pines absolutely went bang on the weekend.
They did.
75-28.
Win over Dramana.
So they're sitting on the same points as us, as 36, so one game behind EDS. So they play each other. I don't know if this week, we'll get to that later.
Sure.
But if they can get on top of them there, it's making for a very interesting.
I love it when it comes to this into the season and we start looking at what those last kind of round games are, and will they impact the ladder positions? So
definitely,
lots of interesting things.
I think we had a draw in C grade Div 1 as well with us, Rento Manaliza, which is really interesting.
So Manaliza getting the monkey off the back, so to speak, because they've got their 2 points now, so they haven't got a win, but a draw, you still get those 2 points. So that would have been a cracking game, and both teams struggling to get too much momentum throughout the season. So to take those 2 points, I'm sure they would have been very happy with that.
Definitely. 44 is a decent score for the game as well. Interesting enough.
And
anything else?
B grade, we had another draw, so a couple of draws this week. So,
so those 2 points, whether they play you in or play you out of finals.
This is the top of the ladder kind of combo as well, actually.
This was a 1v2 with YC undefeated.
They didn't throw this, did they? They didn't say, okay, we'll wait till finals to see who really takes the chocolates.
No, Edie, it was a bit of a back and forth game, a couple of up and back, and then Edie had YC were trying to claw that lead back. They had a couple of goals, and then it got into there was a bit of confusion on court with the two umpires, so that ate up a little bit of time, and then
so they didn't call the time.
I'm not sure if they called the time. I wasn't fully attentive to that, so they may have. She called time, so they would have held time, but it sort of was in the time of a game where there was a bit of momentum. Is probably more to the point. And YC got within that 1 and 2 goals and up and about. It was very similar to their game before. I think we won by 1 but Lozzie Briggs got a bomb came in from the mid-court and she got it off balance and threw it up. Luckily it went in and then the buzzer went as it went through. So she was off balance, throwing up and drew the game.
They're one of those ones that you wish we had the camera
Action
there.
play, yeah.
They're beautiful moments.
Definitely.
And it was that sort of like, when unfortunately our scoreboard got locked away and we couldn't access it, so we didn't have the scoreboard up and no one really knew what the score was. Everyone knew it was close. And a couple of the girls came clapping on for the front up. What happened?
Yeah. We don't know what it was.
What's the score? What's the score?
Oh, that drew it. It was,
I find it really frustrating if there's not a scoreboard up. I would have found that really hard.
It was hard. It was unfortunately out of our hands. And
you didn't go with the girls on the sidelines, just
No, unfortunately someone locked and took away the keys to where ours is stored at FDNA, so we weren't able to get it out.
Love that.
But so it'll just be another thing that's in the backseat of your car, Lou, that you now just have to worry about, I'm sure.
No, it's not going back in there. And then the other one I want to call out was Rosebud versus Bomb Beach. So Rosebud is sitting up towards the top of the ladder, I think 3rd position, and Bomb Beach towards the bottom. And they only went down by 3 goals. So another really close game and some confidence to the Bonnie girls to know that they aren't far away and that those wins will come. You just got to keep pushing it together.
Exactly right.
And then in A grade, so Pines coming away with the win to keep their 1-game buffer between them and Sorrento. So Sorrento also coming away with the win there. And then Rosebud had a massive win, and then Edie were too good for us this week. So turn the tables from last time we played them.
Balances it out.
Yeah, so it's
leading into finals.
Looking very interesting.
It can come around where you can actually play people twice through finals as well. So, you can actually have quite a few games against a particular club. So you get to know their play really well. You get to know who are their key players, better matchups, those type of things. So
it's interesting, like has everyone played their cards? Like,
and who learns better from the games? How are you going to plan? How do you train against that? All of those things.
How do you combat what happened last time? So
exactly.
I think Edie did that really well against us this time, and we'll see what happens come finals. It's going to be some interesting final series across.
It will be
Div 1.
Rosebud and Pines are smashing Div 1, by the way. Rosebud coming with a clean sweep for the weekend, and so same with Pines. It's exciting for both clubs.
Absolutely. Yep, always nice to have everyone coming away with a grin on their face, which we also did on the weekend as well, and with the boys as well. So we had
the big one.
Yeah, we had the 7 from 7, which is always nice, particularly on a home game when the drinks are discounted by the president. So thank you, Rowan.
That's one of the only things the boys really care about. How'd you go?
Yeah, exactly. Are we getting alcohol?
Yes, if they got the 3, then they're running over, aren't they, to find out how you went?
If they lose, if you let the team down, it's all. But if they lose, you're not allowed to talk about it.
Yes, that's right. Well, it sounds like it's familiar. Same at all the clubs.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's move on to Div 2 under 17s. We had a huge score from our under 17s Langwarrin side on Saturday. Langwarrin 82.
Wow.
In a shortened game versus Mornington's 14.
My gosh.
82 is a decent score.
82 is a huge
And that would have been in the fog in Langwarrin. So
12-minute quarters?
12-minute quarters.
So they were, because that whistle would have been going crazy.
Yeah. So they were, well, probably not. It was moving too fast. It wasn't being held back by whistle. Don't blow the whistle at the goal.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah, true. You don't do that anymore, do you?
He's still at the centre pass.
Centre pass, yes. It would have been a lot of centre passes. That's right. So that was a big score line. Pearcedale also had a really big score in the under 17s, and that was 51-6. I would hesitate to say that these two sides will be the ones that will play out the under 17 grand final in Division 2. Both very experienced sides and both doing really well. Our girls had a really good win against Crib Point as well, 39-9. Interestingly, in the D grade, we had, only really one close game, I guess, which was Coringal versus Mornington. But Mornington won the game, sitting 5th on the ladder, 44 to Coringal's 36. But I thought the margin was reasonably close, considering Coringal were 10th on the ladder. So, Mornington, you would hope, would be, trying to build some momentum coming into finals, but Coringal gave them a bit of a run in that game. Likewise, in the C grade, so Langwarrin at the moment sitting 3rd on the ladder, or 2nd on the ladder at the time, played Seaford, who again were 10th and only won the game by 3 goals. So it was 39 to 36, with Langwarrin taking away the win there. So you can really see that, just because someone's outside of the top 5, they can still give those top position teams a real run. Definitely. And will be able to influence ladder positions come the end of the season. Other than that, pretty much some big wins through there. One thing that was interesting in B grade was Seaford versus Langwarrin. Seaford was 38, defeating Langwarrin, which was 37, and that flipped them in the ladder between 4th and 5th. So that one goal. So they will likely, if they hold those positions coming into finals, will play each other again as 4th and 5th position ladder. And so that was interesting. No real other, I guess, surprises in the games there. A big call out to our Summy team against Hastings. We had a pretty decent scoreline there of 93 goals versus Hastings of 47, with Emma Ride shooting 69 of our 93 goals. So a best on court performance there for her.
Boosted her up in the sharp shooting position.
Yeah, true.
Yes, I think that's put her a couple, maybe 100 or so goals ahead now. So,
oh my gosh,
that was a big,
pretty hard to catch.
pretty hard to catch. But those A grade teams, we are shooting a lot of goals, so you can bridge that gap. And Emma doesn't necessarily play every week with us as well, with her other commitments. So I'm sure there'll be some goalers out there who are hoping that she might have a couple of weeks off potentially in there. But interesting, I thought,
have to pass the ball to the one goal.
Yeah, true.
But it was 93 goals, but that's not the highest score that we have had at Somerville. So we have had a higher score than that in our A grade before, and I know Becky Dixon had shot 80 of that. I can't remember what the actual.
Someone's clicked over the ton a couple of times.
Yes, and so I know that that was, she'd shot 80 individually, and we had a higher score. So it'd be interesting to know what everyone's highest scores are, because ticking over the ton, most scoreboards don't go that high.
Yeah, they don't have triple digits.
So let's tick it back over to 0. But what I was going to say is that we played Hastings and they were 47. It was still a competitive game. It was a good game. And 47 would have won. That scoreline would have won another in 2 other games that were played on the weekend in the A grade.
Yeah.
So, Pearsdale only got 43 goals to beat Devon Meadows by 29. Langwarrin defeated Seaford 46 to 39. So, in all of those games, so they were still, getting plenty of the ball. Not to be disheartened there by the Hastings girls. Tyab had a good win over Rye, 67 to 30 as well in the A grade. So Tyab still ticking along nicely, undefeated in that A grade competition. So that was really a bit about all from me in Div 2.
So we'll move on to last week's Swordfish Game of the Week, which was Div 1 Rosebud D grade, Div 1 D grade, Rosebud versus Bond Beach.
What was the game, Lou?
Have another.
D grade. Rosebud versus Bond Beach.
Tongue-tied. I thought normally stuff up Swordfish, but here we go. Rosebud 39 defeating Bond Beach 26. So the winner of the Swordfish Award was Madison Ritchie, who is also the Rosebud D grade captain. So well done, Madison.
Congratulations,
we heard you played
Madison.
An absolute ripper game throughout the court, and very deserving of your treats from Swordfish.
Congratulations. All right, let's move on to see what is happening in the competition in the rumours. So we've been getting quite a few come through to us at the moment. So whether they come through to us directly or whether they're being posted directly through to the GameFace page, which we then
Keep them coming.
Yeah, we come in and the team behind the scenes at GameFace are always very excited to be able to pass through the rumours that have come through. So, girls, I'll hand over the rumour from Division 1. As I do that, my arm is so incredibly sore from my vaccination that I had today.
All right. Which club has requested an investigation of another club's premium players, implying they may have too many on the court at the same time? I feel like this comes up a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Do you reckon?
I feel like people don't know exactly if people are actually premium players, and they just
especially after 2020.
And sometimes they question it when they may not need to be questioned at all, or if someone's a homegrown player, then they're obviously not counted
It is
as a
difficult,
premium player.
isn't it?
So how do you
do it politely?
How do you know?
I'm assuming that Sam still is checking this on a weekly basis at the league. So she has been provided with the details of all the club players. That said, we've spoken about it on the show that there's players that are coming in that weren't necessarily there at the start of the year, but are coming in to play 1 or 2 games, whether it be to help out to cover injuries or whatever the case may be. But are the clubs still telling the league about these players that are coming in? Like, whose responsibility is that? And I don't know the players that are considered premium players. I'm not up with VNL anymore, and who's playing for Saints and Ariels and Peninsula and Casey and the likes. So it's really hard to know
who's who in
who's
the zoo.
who.
And then obviously if young girls are going from the 17s or 19s or whatever and going up to the open sections of Div 1 or Championship, then they're classified as a premium player, whereas with their 19s, I think the rules still say that they're not classified as a premium player. Is that right?
If you take the court as a premium, as a senior VNL player, it's my understanding is that you are then classified as a senior premium player.
But if you're under 19 still, you're not classified. Right. Yeah. But if they take the court for a quarter,
you go
5
on
minutes,
to Div 1 or champ, then you become a VNL premium
and how
player.
do you police that?
Absolutely. So it's challenging. I guess, is it similar to with the footballers? I know that they have points. Like, that must be all calculated and done the same way.
Yeah, but you don't change during the season. Like, someone could not be
they can't go from league to league.
Become
correct
premium player.
Yes, you get your points.
You get your points at the end or start of the season. And
although we just had a boy come to our club. How's me? A boy. We had a footy player come to join us at Somerville only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but you
so he would have had to have been allocated points.
He would have. Yeah, he would have those points, but any week you have a certain amount of points that you can play with.
Yes.
So some team has. So you can have more points out of. You can have more points, whatever. But for that game, your points need to come under that.
Yep.
Didn't explain.
So it is. It's always tough, and I guess there's got to be a level of your club respecting the rules and doing the right thing as well. So, yeah, interesting to see what comes of that.
It's tough for some people to know, like, you don't have to do much to be a homegrown premium player under our
Absolutely.
rules.
No. What is it, 50 games?
I don't think it's even
30? Something like that.
I think it's 10 games across 3 seasons, like 3 consecutive seasons, which I don't believe, in my eyes, is not a homegrown player. So I think that's a little bit of a...
Anyway.
Yeah, there's a grey area there, isn't it, where people could potentially be, because you think of...
Like, there's a lot of conjecture around what is a homegrown player because we are a young league in the grand scheme of things, and you can appreciate that. But we have also been around for nearly 12 years now. And
10 games, 3 seasons isn't a lot.
Is that what it is? I don't...
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I remember the meeting.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't have anyone who is in that... classification, so it doesn't alter what's happening at Somerville, so I don't know. And again, when you turn up to some sides and you just go, wow, there's some talent on the court, but a lot of the girls now are just, really great players who are out of the VNL competition. And if you're out of it from a couple of seasons, then you're just a standard player again. And, they are still of the standard. They just choose for whatever reason not to be playing at that level. So it's hard to, you can go, gosh, they're, how could they have that many players on? But they are just
probably a few more clubs that are doing that because it is hard to know. And it's not denoted anywhere really on the score sheet or anything. So it's not like you have to highlight them and for the scorers then to be able to record, okay, well, they can't have that many players. Which you probably should because there is a rule.
Because you can have 5 named but 3 on the court. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Well, it came out on the during the week with about scoring and making sure that everything's recorded correctly, etc. So we've just You know, it's just
Cross
another
people.
thing for a scorer to have to worry about. I don't know whether we need to do that.
And the admin
All right.
to check it.
Let's move on to
true.
Division 2.
Oh, sorry, I meant like
Oh.
it does it automatically on the system, like
Yes.
my netball.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
turn
yeah.
up with iPads to do our scoring on the weekends. Billy can donate it all to the club. All right, Division 2. Which under-17s coach gave their team an absolute spray at halftime that made a player come to tears?
That's really disappointing, isn't it?
That's sad. Whoa, poor little under-17.
I know what under-17s can be from 14 years old to
Yeah.
17 kind of thing.
They're very young and impressionable, and
And some 17s have never played
That's
netball
disappointing
before.
to hear.
surely you can't be that into. I mean,
Some tough love obviously been shown at one of the clubs out there in the competition. So,
there's plenty of tears in the, but across the adult netball as well.
Always. Always
you always
tears.
tend to see them, but I don't think it necessarily comes across from a spray. There's probably more emotions
Yes.
you're trying to navigate
Yeah.
through as you get a little bit older, but copying a spray
it seems
It's not
very
very- I
don't
footy-like,
think-
doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
similar.
Very old school. Yeah. I'm not sure I agree with spraying under-17s. You can get frustrated and you can
And
drop a bomb
That's when you
here
just
and
have to
there,
walk
but
away, take a deep breath.
They're trying. They're not
They're
deliberately trying to
babies.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
disappointing.
Don't know
to
the
see.
situation, but
Anyway,
yeah, sad to hear. So that poor little under-17 player, I hope you're feeling okay. Dust yourself off, get back out on the court, and do what we all love.
and just a little shout out to Devon Meadows Football Club as a whole, or Football Netball Club, I should say, as a whole. They unfortunately were broken into last Friday night, and their whole canteen stock for the
Oh
whole
my
weekend.
gosh.
I'm not sure if it was bar as well, but definitely their whole canteen was depleted. So,
And Devon Meadows probably has one of the best canteens in the competition, so that's devastating.
and to have to do get up and
Go
running
through
on
that
a
again.
Saturday morning when you've got everything else you've got to do, that would be the last thing you want to be thinking of. But they did it, and I know that Pearcedale and the Devon people were very patient with the canteen and getting back on their feet. But a little shout out to them. We hope that you at least got some of that back. And
Hope the Sorry, excuse
Pretty
me.
much that.
But you know, our volunteers, we do so much work.
So much
and
work.
to have people who come in and destroy all the hard work that you do
it's just guttering.
is really frustrating. So,
it's how everyone
my thoughts go out
survives
to the Devon guys.
Yeah, 100%. So just a little shout out there.
Sorry, GameFace. You can bleep me out for that one.
Thanks again to all of our sponsors who make our shows possible, especially Swordfish Mornington and the Frankston RSL.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good luck.
Cheers.
Get your game face on.